Yo, what's up guys? You got your boy Nandre here, welcome to another video. So for this video, I'm going to be showing you guys my Midblood list. So this is going to be like, I guess, an interesting building. I'm not going to talk about it for too long, just because like, I do obviously like want to go ahead and like not be like too wordy with this. But running down really quickly, 3 Unica. So Unica is really good because like this isn't like an inherently aggressive deck. And as a result, most times when you're running an inherently aggressive deck, like, you usually play stuff like Unica just because like it helps you not fall too far behind on board or anything like that, because like it's basically a soft board. That's really good. 3 Baphomet. Baphomet is one of the best tutors in the game. It's also offensively statted. The it being offensively statted is both a good and bad thing, because like you want it to be able to trade it into opposing 2-drops. So sometimes it will die to your opponent's like 1-drops or whatever. And that feels bad, but that's like, you know, a price they have to pay, because like there's so many good like effects in this deck that you can go. There's so many good cards in this deck that you can go and tutor. You can tutor Fang Serpent for a ward, Medusa to get going, Savoir to answer a threat, Emerald to answer a threat, Spawn to end the game, Fenrir to answer a threat. So it's a really good card. It helps you like keep up offensive momentum. 3 Tove. So to be honest with you, the Tove is actually mainly here just because of the Kai'Sa. So the Kai'Sa, it gets you a token. It helps you keep up. It also helps you make you more like resilient to AoEs, just because like you play out the Kai'Sa, because Kai'Sa's not actually because you play out the carrot's not actually a real card, so it makes the AoEs that happen to you less devastating, and that's always good. With the Kai'Sa, something you can do is you can go turn 2 Baphomet. The Baphomet will pull you a Tove, turn 3 Kai'Sa to get the to get the carrot. Turn 4 Tove plus carrot in order to go ahead and make a trade. That's really good going first. And it's also very, very good going second, because going second you can also evolve the carrot, and they can go ahead and full clear the board. And basically it just works as like a really, really ghetto Scarlet Savoir effect, sort of. 3 Razor Claw. You do need to at some point be able to turn up the heat. Additionally, because you kind of like draw into a lot of cards and don't actually have to like play out resources in the way the ordinarily would, is like a deck that can go get aggressive. It means that sometimes you just have like multiple Razor Claws in your hand. And last time I checked, 6 mana for 9 damage is pretty damn good. Or just being able to just like have double Razor Claw and just like bop your opponent in the face for 6 helps you bring very, very fast ends to games in which you need to race. And having out of hand damage is very, very important. 3 Hungering Horde. Hungering Horde is to make sure that they always have like removal when you need it, because the deck is primarily token based. You want to be able to kind of like punch through all the wards and all the things that would require you to have to trade in multiple tokens. In order this way you get to keep all your tokens in play, make it very, very difficult for your opponent to win. 2 Pure-Hearted Singer. You do want card draw in this deck to some degree, just because like there are some things you want to be able to like turn online. You also want to be able to get out of the few times where you like draw badly or whatever. Because granted, you do have like 12, or so you do have like, I think how many is this? You do have like 9 different like playable 2-drops. So sometimes you will in fact miss a 2-drop. You will in fact, you know, be in a bad spot, and the Pure Singer helps you like dig out of the spots a little bit faster. Fang Serpent is good because it's a ward that also heals, which is basically like super cheaty face versus aggro, because of the fact that like again it wards and it heals. It's also an offensively statted ward, which is actually a lot more important than people might think, because like it means they can kill certain things that you otherwise couldn't kill. Like for example, it means they can kill off a tea time, it means they can kill off the group of people that are like say X5s. Such like say a T10 that's like traded into a 1-drop, a Scarlet Savoir, a Sybil that's traded into a 1-drop, and Albert if it trades into a 2-drop, so on and so forth. But it's actually very, very, very important. Additionally, the ward tagline is also important, because sometimes you will in fact need a ward versus decks that have like out of hand like burst. That's battle damage. Like for example, blocking an Albert shot, or blocking a Genesis or a Forte or something like that. Those are actually very, very big deals. And of course, if you want to play 3 of them, you can in fact do so. 3 Child of Gorgon. So the Child of Gorgon, this is actually a very big one for this deck, because like because one thing that people don't talk about is that like spell-based tokens are actually some of the strongest tokens in the game, just because because they're spells, you usually can get the token effects for free. Additionally, usually, because they're spells, they usually, by virtue of being spells, usually do more than just give you the tokens. So for example, Trial of the Gorgons. Trial of the Gorgons, it gives you 2 serpents. The 2 serpents already means they get enough damage to trade into a 2-drop if you want to. So technically, on paper, the Trial of the Gorgons is you can kind of like think of it as like a really shitty like removal spell sometimes. However, because it also gives you additional cards as well, it means they actually get to like trade up and actually get like +1s that seemingly come out of like nowhere. Such like, for example, if you pick up like the Senna or the Medusa or the Uri, like whatever one of these cards they pick up, like those cards are usually going to give you a +1, unless you're like massively behind on board, in which case you've already lost that game anyway. But this deck strives to make sure that you're never like behind on board. 3 Medusa. So Medusa is very, very powerful. Most times the way you want to look at the Medusa is like you want to look at it as basically say a creature that helps you like develop onto the board. You don't want to focus on trying to get the Medusiana, which as we see here is a 8 play point follower, which is a 1/7 rush bane, can attack up to 3 times. Now sometimes you will in fact get it, but you don't want to focus on getting that. Like you want to go ahead and primarily play towards board, and you want to kind of think of the Medusa as sort of like a reward for if you're like in a game where you're just like curb stomping your opponent, in which case you just like get to curb stomp them a little bit faster, and that's cool. 3 Nighthorde. So Nighthorde is actually one of the many spots of contention in this deck, because like I know a lot of times I make like these like weird looking decks that like seemingly only I can play. But for the Nighthorde, Nighthorde is a very, very powerful effect. So one situation that happens a lot is like say you're like going second as like a blood player on 4. If your opponent has like say two 2/2s in play, what you can do is you can go ahead and like Nighthorde, get the 2 bats, have one of the bats evolve, and then evo over another 2/2. So you effectively get a plus. Okay, so let's see. You effectively get a +2 from all of that because you get 2 bats, which is technically a +1. Then you get to have a bat kill a creature on your opponent's. Sorry, I lied. It's actually a +3 because you get the Nighthorde. The Nighthorde kills a creature. So, you get 2 bats, so it's already +2. The bat evolves and kills another unit, so it's actually a +3. +3 is pretty damn insane. Just saying. Oh, another thing about the Nighthorde is that like most times, again, you usually don't care if it does the base minimum of just 2 damage, but sometimes you can play people who are bad and prioritize killing the other tokens you make as opposed to the bats. So which means sometimes the bats can hit for a little bit harder off of the Nighthorde. I think the biggest one I've had to hit for was 3 or 4 damage. Just because my opponent like prioritized killing killing chibi snakes, which is snakes you get off with like the Medusa or whatever. Which honestly, like those tokens are meaningless. Like they literally only matter if I have Medusa in play. And that's the only time it matters. 3 Scarlet Sablar. So Scarlet Sablar, again, one of the best things you can do on 5. It's pretty good just because like it forces your opponent into a lot of bad situations, which is actually where this deck excels at, and just forcing your opponent into really bad unfortunate situations. For the Scarlet Sablar, like even in like worst case scenario, which is that she just like comes in and kills off a really big dude, but suicides in the process, you're still fine with that. Now granted, it sucks, but you're still fine with that a little bit, just because like it gives you a little bit of healing, which is nice. But most times, the usual outcome is that like usually Scarlet Sablar will come into play. It'll kill a 2 HP minion, so it's already a +1. It will evolve, kill another unit, so it's another +1. So you have a +2. It already healed you as well, and the healing is like just it's a side benefit, but it's nice. Just because like it helps you stay topped off at full HP, making it a little bit harder for your opponent to kill you, forcing you into a long game, thus making sure that the card advantage that you gain mattered. Additionally, because it's at a base 4 HP, and thus will have about 6 HP when evolved. That usually means it will most likely live the first trade that it makes. So as like a 4/2 or whatever, a 4/2 with Bane, it now threatens your opponent. It now threatens to kill whatever big unit your opponent plays. So they have to take subpar turns in the form of like development or whatever in order to get rid of it. Where your opponent has to make a lot of like subpar turns in order to try to like catch up on board. You're winning that game. Like you're straight up just winning that game. 2 Fenrir. So Fenrir is actually along the same line as Scarlet Sablar in that she she has she's a very high base HP, and that of being a base 6 HP. Additionally, a board state that's actually very common, although I don't think many people like noticed it, is that sometimes by like say turn 5, turn 6, there's usually a situation in which like some like say small creature or whatever, maybe like say like lives another turn, and then your opponent is in a spot where they give you like one of their last remaining evos, or maybe even their last evo, to go ahead and clear off a unit, and then they'll have like a say like an X2 plus like a small like say 2/2 or whatever. So then the Fenrir gets to come in, it'll kill the 2/2, and then we'll cascade, and then also get to kill the X2 as well for free. And that's very powerful because the Fenrir herself will be at 4 HP remaining. At 4 HP, you're at that threshold where literally no like most removals in the game just can't clear you, and she just like threatens it to be like very obnoxious, and again attacks your opponent for a very unique angle that's like tricky to deal with. 3 Emeralda. So for the Emeralda, like this one's a big one because I know a lot of people are just like out here just going like, Damn's game, why are you playing Emeralda? But to be honest with you, the Emeralda, I've literally said this since the time that she like got revealed or whatever. But the Gaining Storm, if in Vengeance, that's just a cherry on top. You don't need to play her for that effect. Like what you need to play her for is the fact that she's literally that she has a lot of utility, and cost efficiency wise, she's out of this world. So if you look at say execution is a 5 mana effect. That's a spell, destroy an enemy follower or amulet, and we see that Emeralda gets that for free. So if we factor that in, Emeralda is essentially a 2 mana 4/5. Where are you gonna get a ratio like that? 2 mana 4/5. You cannot get that anywhere else. Like and so by virtue of that being so good, as well as the effect itself being so good, that's why you play her. Like it's just a very cumbersome thing for an opponent to deal with. Additionally, because of the utility, like it makes certain things that your opponent might want to do very difficult. Like for example, if your opponent tries to like play like a big boy, bad big boy, it's now just dead. The biggest and most common example that I find is that like the Emeralda can like kill Bahamut's. Like that's very powerful. Like it kills Bahamut's and also generates you tempo in the process. Like with this deck, you want to be able to generate as much tempo as possible in order to just like gain and keep momentum. Like you want to be ahead on board. You want to be able to stay ahead on board. Like this deck lets you do that. Last card is going to be the Spawn of the Abyss. So for Spawn of the Abyss is actually one of 2 different finishers you can have in this deck. The other finisher is that of Soul Dominator. To be honest, like Soul Dominator isn't even that bad. It's just I like Spawn of the Abyss just more, because Spawn of the Abyss, again, it fits a very recurring theme in this deck that I've like created, in that it like attacks board states from a very unique angle. Because 1, it's at 7 HP, 2, it's in stealth. So the stealth plus the 7 HP is a very powerful combination, because like at 7 HP it outlives every single AoE outside of like say Revelation or Themis or Bahamut, and that's very powerful. 2, because of its effect, even if for some reason you are able to kill it, you're still taking 5 damage, which is actually very big, because like 5 damage is essentially the same as saying that you just ate 2 saying that you just ate 2 demonic strikes for free. That's kind of ridiculous. And then lastly, the few classes that can in fact answer this like well, quote unquote well, still don't even answer that perfectly. Like the best class that has the best answer to it is that of Room with Mutagenic Bolt. And even if you like Mutagenic Bolt this, like I like usually most times the spawn player is like perfectly fine by that, because like unless you Mutagenic Bolt off of an Oz, that you still used up your entire turn to get rid of this, and that just means that I get to like redevelop or whatever, and that just puts you in a very difficult spot. Additionally, the spawn, because of this deck and because of like my nature, like to kind of like play games a little bit slower than like the average like ladder play or whatever, it means that even I can like end the game like on a dime if I need to. So to put into like perspective for you, a scenario that I was actually in yesterday when I was like practicing the deck is that one game my opponent was at like 19 HP. I had 2 spawns in hand. I got to play 1 spawn. Immediately, my opponent was actually effectively at 14 to 16. Sorry, was at 14 to 8 HP. Just because the spawn itself, again, it represents 5 damage. If you do or don't kill it, if it gets to attack your face, that it represents 11 damage. So effectively, he was at 6 to, sorry, he was at 6 to 11. He couldn't actually, sorry, he was at 14 to 8. I'm sorry, there we go. 14 to 8 respectively, based off whether or not I could or couldn't hit face. Additionally, because of the second spawn in hand, naturally, when the first spawn got to hit face, because he just, you know, he was out of wards or just didn't have wards or whatever, that now meant that with the second spawn, with me just able to drop them into play, he was now effectively at 3 HP or just dead if I was able to hit his face. At 3 HP or just dead, that means that now Razor Claw is an out. Razor Claw just kills you immediately. And that's very, very powerful. But again, like if you focus more on the token aspect, then the Soul Dominator is better, just because Soul Dominator can get out of hand very, very quickly with this deck. It's really cool. But yeah, but overall for the deck, like it's a very fun deck to play. Like especially if you're like a particularly, I guess, like technical player or whatever. Just because like it forces your opponent into a lot of like very bad do or die situations, or damned if you do, damned if you don't situations, which is usually the sign of a very powerful deck overall. Just because the average ladder player is almost assuredly going to pick the wrong mistake at least 2 or 3 times, and that's usually all you need to win, as long as you can capitalize on it and as long as you don't make any mistakes, which is, you know, it's really cool. I'll definitely have like more gameplay videos of this in the future. I actually have like about 7 or so that I'm gonna like go ahead and share with you guys, probably later in this week, maybe tomorrow, maybe the day after. But yeah. If you enjoyed the video, go and leave a like, go and hit the subscribe button if you haven't. Let me know what you think about Midblood down in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you.